Hey everybody, my name is Seth Meyers and I am so happy to be back with you in Sanctuary for Families to host this virtual benefit for this incredible organization. The pandemic has brought indescribable suffering to many people throughout the world, but for victims of gender-based violence, COVID-19 has threatened their lives in truly tragic ways. Lack of housing, food instability, and economic challenges make it even harder for a survivor to escape an abusive partner. Domestic violence victims remain trapped at home, a place that should be safe. For many of us, life is beginning to come back to normal. New York City is starting to open up, but the lingering effects of the pandemic will continue to disproportionately affect survivors of gender-based violence. They continue to be at great risk right now, and that means Sanctuary for Family services are still urgently needed. This year's benefit is a special one. For the Myers family, my wife Alexi, who works for Sanctuary, is being honored, and I am so proud of her. I want to congratulate her and the other honorees for this recognition. Before I talk about her work as an activist, I want to talk about her as a mother. Much has been written about how the pandemic affected working mothers, those who had to balance their jobs with their responsibilities as a parent. But with Alexi, that was not the case. When it came to raising our kids, I did everything. She was totally absent. It fell all on me. The cleaning, the cooking, every night having to put either one or two of our kids to bed. I can't remember how many we have. Point is, I'm glad she's being honored for her work with Sanctuary because her family doesn't even recognize her anymore. When I ran that part by Alexi, she said, "Are they going to know you're joking?" So this is me making it clear. I'm joking. Being married to a lawyer, right? Through Alexi's work, I've seen firsthand the amazing work that Sanctuary does every day. Shelters, counseling, economic empowerment training, and legal representation. Each program is staffed by passionate and dedicated individuals who have more than risen to the occasion during the crisis. Sanctuary creates new solutions that help our city's poorest families on their journeys from crisis to safety, stability, and self-sufficiency. Its long-term vision is to create a world in which freedom from gender-based violence is a basic human right. By being with us today, you're joining a community of people who are committed to making a difference and to the safety of survivors of gender violence. Thank you for joining me in support of this amazing organization. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Sanctuary for Families' extraordinary executive director, the Honorable Judy Harris Kluger.
Hello, I'm Judy Harris Kluger, Executive Director of Sanctuary for Families. Thank you, Seth, for being with us again this year. As Seth noted, we are all beginning to feel that life may soon return to normal. But for survivors of gender-based violence, the pandemic ushered in new threats and urgent concerns. In any pre-COVID year, Sanctuary helped over 10,000 survivors of domestic violence, sex trafficking, and related forms of gender violence. They are mostly women of color and their children living in poverty. Beginning last March, there was a dramatic increase in calls to our hotlines and increased demand for supportive services. In a 3-month period between May and August, hotline calls increased 125%. Court shutdowns prevented or delayed life-saving legal remedies like orders of protection. In my 25 years as a judge, I never experienced such complete and prolonged court closures. Not after 9/11, not after Hurricane Sandy. Economic devastation unleashed a tide of food insecurity, and many survivors felt trapped during the lockdown. They remained in danger because they believed that help was not available or accessible. Sanctuary staff and survivor leaders worked hard to connect and ensure survivors' safety and access to our services. We shared resources through a new client newsletter, we added a chat feature to our website, and we developed 2 guides, a quarantine safety planning guide for domestic violence survivors and a guide for survivors of human trafficking on strategies for coping during COVID. These guides have been translated into multiple languages and shared with over 200,000 people online. These are just some of the ways that Sanctuary met the crisis with compassion and action. As our staff members faced their own pandemic challenges, they showed extraordinary dedication and bravery. Our shelters stayed open, our legal, clinical, and economic empowerment teams kept working. We brought services online. Thousands of survivors who needed our help were kept safe. The World Health Organization describes violence against women as a global public health crisis of epic proportions. It is this ongoing epidemic for which we have no vaccine. So our work continues. Our theme this year is Together We Rise. Together we rise from the pandemic that devastated the world. We also rise together to meet the challenge of helping those whose new lives, free from gender violence, are just beginning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello, I'm Mary Steenburgen. More than a third of domestic violence survivors report becoming homeless immediately after leaving their abusers. Each year, Sanctuary for Families' Economic Empowerment Program helps hundreds of survivors gain the knowledge and skills needed to obtain living wage jobs in the complex New York City economy. Please join me in supporting the transformational work of Sanctuary for Families.
Hey everyone, I'm back, and next up, a short video about Sanctuary's mission.
Together we rise.
Together we rise.
Together we rise.
When we rise together, we will create a safer future for our daughters.
When we rise together, we are more secure.
Together, we show the power of a caring community.
Only together can we build a world free from gender violence.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Together.
Together.
Together we are.
Together we are
Stronger.
Together we are transformative.
We all are survivors.
When we rise together, we are powerful advocates for social justice.
Juntos nos levantamos.
Together we rise.
Together we are resilient.
When we rise together, we show survivors they're not alone.
Together, we are a community.
We inspire action and change.
When we rise together, we shape a city committed to safety for all of us.
Only together can we make a real difference.
Together we
have fun! We have fun!
Together, we are a force to be reckoned with.
Only together can we truly get the change we need.
Together, we are unstoppable.
Together, we are powerful. Yeah, that's right.
Only together can we speak in one truly, truly powerful voice.
When we rise together, we can do anything.
Together we rise.
Together we rise.
Hi, I'm Ida Hagudi, and I'm a proud member of the Board of Directors of Sanctuary for Families. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us this evening. The current public health and economic crises have created enormous challenges for survivors of gender violence. At Sanctuary, we all come together to help survivors write their next chapter. This includes staff providing critical services for clients, pro bono attorneys representing survivors in court, volunteers helping clients with their resume for their next big job interview, and you. Yes, you. Because we cannot do this work without your support. Tonight, alongside our community, I urge you to support the movement to end gender violence by making a financial contribution to Sanctuary's mission. Every dollar you donate tonight will go to helping survivors of gender violence. And whether you donate $250 to pay for a MetroCard and groceries, or $15,000 to pay for trauma-informed counseling, we appreciate it all, and we are so grateful. There are 3 easy ways to make a donation tonight. First, if you're watching us from the GiveSmart platform, you can donate on the very same webpage on the left side of the panel. Just click on the tab that says Donate. Or just text the word Sanctuary to 76278 and follow the directions you receive via text message for next steps. Finally, you can also just visit sanctuary.givesmart.com. And lastly, please don't forget to check out our online auction, which has some amazing items. It will close at the end of June, but you can get your bid in today. Thank you for your support and for partnering with Sanctuary for Families. Enjoy the rest of the program.
Hello, I'm Tony Shalhoub. Domestic violence results in nearly 2 million injuries and 1,300 deaths in the U.S. every year. The Sanctuary for Families has the largest legal center in the country, dedicated to helping survivors of gender violence, providing critical advocacy and representation to over 5,500 survivors each year. I hope you will join me in supporting this wonderful organization.
Talia Esperanza Jennings came into Sanctuary's orbit 11 years ago as a young, very highly regarded associate at Schulte Roth, eager to assist a survivor and burnish her litigation skills. I had the case for her, a young mother from the West Indies who had fallen in love and become pregnant, only to discover that her independent spirit and professional accomplishments were a goad to her fiancé's sense of entitlement to absolute control, and her changing body a moving target for his acts of raging violence. The evidence Talia began to gather included photographs of the smashed plaster imprint of our client's pregnant body on the bedroom wall. I sat beside Talia in our offices as she patiently, meticulously prepared witnesses, and in the courtroom as she gently guided our client through the terrifying nightmare that had become her life. I realized then that Talia had it all: the depth of compassion that won her client's absolute trust, a deep understanding of the dynamics of domestic violence and their intersection with the law, spot-on judgment, strategic brilliance, the command of the courtroom, and a passionate commitment to protect and empower the survivors we serve. I've since observed Talia bring these extraordinary attributes to case after case, 7 of them to date, challenging, complex cases like the case of Cerro, who didn't get the protection she and her daughter needed at the end of my hard-fought trial. On appeal, Talia persuaded the appellate division to more than triple the length of Cerro's order of protection, not only enabling her to raise her daughter in safety, but establishing important legal precedent for hundreds of Cerros to come. This year, once again, I've had the enormous privilege of being a supporting player on a litigation team led by Talia. To see her bring her seasoned expertise to mentoring a group of Schulte associates and sanctuary staff attorneys is pure pleasure. And Talia doesn't only bring this wealth of knowledge to our client, staff, and volunteer lawyers. Now a Schulte partner, she brings it to Sanctuary's board of directors, which she joined in 2014. How unbelievably fortunate we are to have her knowledge, experience, and passionate commitment guiding Sanctuary. It is with infinite admiration and gratitude that I bestow this award on Talia Esperanza Jennings.
Good evening, and thank you, Dorchen, for that warm message. Dorchen probably knows more than anyone else exactly how meaningful this award is to me. For more than a decade, I have had the opportunity to work with Sanctuary through multifaceted pro bono work at my law firm, Schulte, Roth & Zabel. Our lawyers represent Sanctuary's clients, our firm has served in a general counsel capacity to the organization, and members of our business staff have generously donated their time and resources to Sanctuary's mission on a variety of projects. Over the course of all these years, I have witnessed firsthand Sanctuary's dedication to each and every one of its clients. In addition to providing safety, shelter, counseling, and legal services, I've seen Sanctuary and its staff members purchase Metro cards for clients, assist with rent, take phone calls at all hours of the night, and one of my favorites, allow clients to walk through Sanctuary's Butterfly Boutique and pick out clothing and toys of their choice. These are just some of the countless ways I've seen Sanctuary let clients know that they are not alone. I've also seen Sanctuary face challenges head on. Last year, when courts abruptly closed due to COVID-19, Sanctuary did not miss a beat. It immediately established a virtual courtrooms advocates project and called upon law firms to help fill a daily need to assist survivors of domestic violence obtain emergency orders of protection. During the civil unrest following George Floyd's murder, Sanctuary took a strong stance against systematic racism and committed to continuing its work to create safe and equitable communities for Black and Brown people. Sanctuary has also stood in solidarity with the Asian community as they became targets of increasing widespread racist and misogynistic violence. For all of these reasons, I am so humbled by Sanctuary's choice over the years to trust me with their clients, to invite me onto the board, and to present me with this award today. It really and truly is my honor to be part of the Sanctuary team. So to Sanctuary, to Judy, Dorchen, all of the staff and the board, thank you. Thank you for giving me and my law firm the opportunity to help Sanctuary do its amazing work. And to my firm, Schulte, Roth & Zabel, thank you for your commitment through time, money, and other resources to this great organization. I also have to thank my parents, both of whom have dedicated their lives to public service. Through your example and guidance, you have instilled in me the importance of community service, particularly in ways that empower others, and I will forever carry that with me. And of course, to my husband and our beautiful children who support me in all that I do, you are a constant reminder that there is a bright side to everything. And to all of you tuning in, on behalf of my firm, the Sanctuary Board, and me personally, thank you, thank you, thank you for all of your continuing support.
The typical age girls are first sold into prostitution is 12 to 14. Some boys too, but historically more women. Sanctuary's anti-trafficking initiative reaches more than 300 trafficking victims each year. It is one of the few service providers in New York City. I hope you will join me in supporting this incredible organization.
My name is Gabrielle Prieto, aka Gigi Phoenix. My life's purpose and amazing career as the Empower Center's peer care navigator at Sanctuaries for Families started with an advocacy bus ride where a deep conversation about my survivor story was heard and respected by a remarkable woman, Alexi Myers. The position I hold allows me to assist those who feel alone, afraid, and ashamed. For those who are lost, I'm able to meet, walk, and talk with them, and provide a light and an inspired reminder that we are not by ourselves. With a resource like the Empower Center, which is a collective partnership between health and hospitals and sanctuaries for families located at the Gouverneur Hospital, we provide peer care navigation, medical, mental health, legal, and social and economic empowerment services to survivors of the commercial sex trade and sex trafficking. Providers from all of these disciplines operate using an interdisciplinary service model to reduce barriers to care for our clients. Then they are surrounded and supported by a legion of human rights fighters for full encouragement on them to their journey of healing. My motto is, you can change. Pivot your life at any moment, but only once you make the decision to do so. Once a survivor selects hope, then anything is possible. Once this self-thought is planted, the growth process brings healing and starts to sprout upon the decluttered trauma soil. Thank you.
The poet Audre Lorde beckoned us to embrace that peace in each of us that refuses to be silent. Alexi echoes this call every day with her brilliant determination and passion for justice and equality. For the last 4 years, I've had the honor and joy to work alongside Alexi, who is grace under fire in the muddy trenches, raising awareness and fighting for laws and policies to end sex trafficking and gender-based violence. I hear that Alexi dines with royalty and adorns splendid gowns for the Met Gala, but this award is not a recognition of a Hollywood life, which is why I'm standing in for Oprah tonight. Tonight, we celebrate Alexi's vision and her zero tolerance for violence and discrimination, especially against the women and girls whom Sanctuary serves. Her days could be quietly spent on a country farm or by the beach, but Alexi belongs to a small tribe of women warriors who walk with sex trade survivors, educate legislators, and rumble in messy battles. Perhaps it's because she is the granddaughter of Holocaust survivors whose memories have inked in her blood the glories of justice, and that silence has never been a tool to protect human rights. Extraordinary daughter to Joanne and Tom, beloved partner to Seth, magnificent mother to Asha and Axel, whose gorgeous faces we've relished seeing on Zoom this past year. Ash, who's not yet in kindergarten, could probably recite Section 230 of the New York Penal Code and spell sexual exploitation. Both Sanctuary for Families and your tribe celebrate you, Alexi, for your extraordinary accomplishments to date and for all that you will do to continue to ensure that even the most marginalized among us have the right not to be bought and sold. With admiration and gratitude, congratulations, Alexi.
Thank you, Taina, for your incredibly generous words and for being our partner in this work and my personal mentor. During law school, I worked at a nonprofit whose focus was international sex trafficking. I started learning about the prevalence of trafficking in New York and its horrifying effects. This was also my first introduction to Sanctuary for Families, 5 years before joining its staff. I was awed by its pioneering, holistic work to end sex trafficking. It was then that I realized that sex trafficking was the social justice issue I wanted to devote my life to. Trafficking exists in the shadows, hidden in plain sight, too often overlooked or oversimplified by the media. Sex trafficking traumatizes the most vulnerable and marginalized in our communities. No one should ever have to be subjected to violence, dehumanization, and exploitation at the hands of a trafficker, pimp, or sex buyer. No one should ever feel like their only economic option to put a roof over their heads or to feed themselves or their children is to sell themselves for someone else's pleasure. I am deeply proud to be working at Sanctuary alongside powerfully dedicated and talented advocates in this movement. Sanctuary leads with solutions, providing survivors with life-changing options. Our Empower Center, a partnership with H&H Hospital, is a groundbreaking clinic open to anyone in the commercial sex trade who needs healthcare, legal assistance, or social services, and exit out of the sex trade. Sanctuary's anti-trafficking initiative offers cutting-edge legal representation that enables brutalized trafficking survivors to find justice and a healing path forward. Sanctuary is working to change the cultural and legal landscape so that trafficking victims are no longer criminalized, but instead are given the support services they need, while those who exploit them are held accountable. In partnership with a cross-sectoral survivor-led coalition called New Yorkers for the Equality Model, we recently introduced the Sex Trade Survivors Justice and Equality Act. In this time of criminal justice reform, with an overdue focus on ending the over-incarceration of communities of color, we cannot lose sight of those our criminal justice system fails to protect. We must ensure that the most vulnerable among us can access justice. I am accepting this award tonight on behalf of trafficking survivors everywhere, especially the incredible survivor leaders, Christian Eduardo, Mel, Gigi, Jasmine, Chandra, Fabiola, and Esperanza. I learn from you every day, and the narratives of your lived experiences are at the center of this work. From all of you, I've learned that there's a deep cultural, historical acceptance of violence and discrimination against women of color, whom the sex trade treats as property to be bought and sold. I've learned from you how predatory the sex trade is, how it is the nexus where all systems of oppression meet. You have taught me that the demand created by sex buyers fuel this profoundly racist and misogynistic global industry. I am here to amplify those voices of survivors who demand a seismic cultural shift where society finally reckons with the devastation wreaked by this human rights crisis. We can all be part of the solution. When you leave tonight, I hope you'll do these things. First, educate yourself about the systems of prostitution, the links between prostitution and sex trafficking, and the multifaceted harms caused by sex buying. Question the mainstream media when you hear that prostitution is a job, a choice, and empowering for women. Use the power of your voice and position to correct this false, destructive narrative. And please, commit to a world where sex buying is scorned. Finally, please continue to support Sanctuary for Families so that survivors have the support they need to live the lives they deserve, filled with dignity, safety, and respect. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophia Bush. Thank you all for being here. Over 15.5 million children in the United States live in households where domestic violence occurred last year. Sanctuary for Families provides individual, group, and family counseling to over 1,000 survivors every year, including nearly 350 children, to heal emotional wounds and to help them move on from trauma. Please, if you are able, join me in supporting Sanctuary's work to end gender-based violence.
We are family. Hi, I'm Kim Sledge of Sister Sledge, and this is my daughter Julie.
Hi.
And we are so thrilled to join the Sanctuary family tonight to celebrate and support survivors of gender-based violence.
We hope you will help Sanctuary continue its important work.
Because we are
family.
Yes, we are.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure and honor to introduce one of tonight's honorees, Pearl Cerro. Pearl and I served together for years on Sanctuary's board, and we worked closely together when Pearl spearheaded the effort to find Sanctuary's new offices. Her professionalism and knowledge were impressive, but as a real estate lawyer, I didn't find that surprising. What set Pearl apart was her dedication and commitment to Sanctuary's mission and how hard she worked with the real estate professionals, the staff, and the board to find the perfect new home that would meet the needs of Sanctuary's clients and its staff. For those of you who've been to the new offices, which trust me are a far cry from the old space, you can see how our efforts pay off every day in creating a warm and welcoming atmosphere for everyone. That atmosphere is a reflection of Pearl's personality. Her warmth, generosity, and dedication to Sanctuary's mission will live on in the beautiful new space that she helped to create for Sanctuary. The office is just one of the many gifts that Pearl has brought to Sanctuary since she first got involved over 2 decades ago. Pearl is an extraordinary person with an unwavering commitment to survivors of gender violence. For all of these reasons and more, It is our privilege to be honoring Pearl this evening. Please join me in congratulating Pearl Cerro.
Thank you, Janice, for the kind words. Congratulations to my fellow honorees, and good evening, everybody. It means a great deal to me to be selected as one of Sanctuary Zero Tolerance honorees this year. Sanctuary has awed and inspired me from the moment I learned about it over 20 years ago from my sister, who introduced me to Laurel Eisner, Sanctuary's former executive director. I casually mentioned that I only had 3 weeks to find a charitable project for my son's bar mitzvah, and within 10 minutes, Laurel and I had worked out the idea of a kind of backpack buffet where his guests could take empty backpacks and fill them with school supplies for Sanctuary's youngest clients. It so impacted my son and his friends that we did it again the following year, and the one after that. It became a Sanctuary tradition. Since that first time in 2003, Sanctuary has assembled and distributed more than 8,600 backpacks, fully loaded with school supplies, to the children it serves. After joining the Sanctuary Board, I became more educated about the frightening realities that Sanctuary's clients navigate daily. And I learned of the complexities faced by Sanctuary staff in helping clients tackle problems that are as varied and complicated as life itself. Toward the end of my time on the Sanctuary Board, Judy Kluger asked me to help Sanctuary negotiate the transaction that would enable its move to new offices, since I've worked in real estate for many years. I wanted Sanctuary staff, whom I deeply respect and admire, to have a functional and pleasant workplace, and I was delighted to spearhead the process that brought Sanctuary to its current location. If we have learned nothing else from the past year, it is that we are all inextricably connected. We share a responsibility to each other, for each other, and to our community as a whole. Domestic violence tears at the fabric of our community. Sanctuary works to restore it by providing stability and options in an uncertain world. It is up to all of us to educate others about all forms of gender-based violence, how it breaks lives and spirits and is a precursor to so many other social ills. I look forward to your joining me in continuing to support Sanctuary in any way we can, by donating, by volunteering, and by introducing others to the issues and the solutions that form the basis of Sanctuary's work. Thank you, Sanctuary, for your unswerving compassion and dedication to your mission, and thank you again for this honor.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Carpenter. Sanctuary for Family is an organization that's dedicated to creating a world where freedom from gender violence is a basic human right. This organization services over 10,000 victims of domestic abuse, of gender violence, of sex trafficking each year. They provide life-saving services. They move people out of abuse and fear into a place of hope. Won't you please help me support Sanctuary for Family?
I'm Dennis Mcinerney, President of Sanctuary's Board. I just wanted to take a moment to thank all of tonight's incredibly inspirational honorees and other speakers for their invaluable contribution to tonight's program, and more broadly, to Sanctuary and its thousands of clients. Thank you, Alexi, for your passionate commitment to addressing the horrifying brutality of the sex trafficking industry. Pearl and Talia, your example teaches us that working in the private sector and doing public service is not an either-or proposition. You inspire us all to do more. On behalf of Sanctuary's wonderfully committed and supportive board, I also want to thank our remarkable staff for their tireless efforts in these toughest of times over this past year. We all stand in awe of your dedication, creativity, and resilience. And finally, I want to thank all of you who are here with us tonight. Echoing Seth, we are profoundly grateful for your joining a community committed to making a difference in the lives of survivors of gender violence and their children, people whose character and strength show us all what perseverance makes possible. Your financial support of Sanctuary's mission is indispensable to our ability to provide the services you've heard about tonight. So please consider taking a couple of minutes this evening to help Sanctuary save lives by either donating online or texting the word Sanctuary to 76278 and then following the instructions, or bidding on one of our online auction items. As we've all seen over this past year and how our medical and scientific community has responded to the pandemic, and as we all know to be true in most things that are hard and that matter, we're all in this together. Together, we can make a difference. Together, we rise.
Hi, I'm Olivia Munn. 1 in 4 women in the United States will be subjected to domestic violence in their lifetime. Sanctuary for Families provides shelter every night for up to 200 adults and children escaping violence and abuse. I hope you'll join me in supporting this wonderful organization.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. It's been my honor to once again support this great organization. I have to get home to take everything out of the washer and put it in the dryer, or the dryer into the washer, whichever one's right. Be safe, and I'll see you next year.
you.